from 8 to 10 a.m. Central Time. Um, what we do is I kind of hold space for us to check in with our feelings. I have dozens of different feeling words on my overlay that kind of rotate through to help us find a better word or two for how we are feeling. Um, and I say that in the sense of like when we say, "How are you?" most oftentimes the response is good, bad, okay, alive, surviving. But when I went through my peer support training in 2020, they asked us to check in and check out with feeling words, and I was like, "What?" Um, and so they sent us this 2-page list of just tons and tons of different feeling words, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And so now my favorite thing to do is ask people how they're feeling, and then encourage them to use the words, like try to see if there's a feeling word that you feel like applies to how you're feeling. Um, it can feel kind of intimidating at first, of course, but I know that I've kind of learned just by like Googling the definitions and talking about it with other people. And so that's kind of like the focus of our stream. We don't really play games. On Wednesdays and Fridays, we do a little bit of gaming. We play GeoGuessr and Words on Stream. But I'm not so much of a gamer. Now, I can't really explain why, of course, but I just enjoy being able to talk with people and like talk back and forth. I saw that NY31 asked if my cat has blue eyes, and you betcha he does. You betcha.
I didn't know
The
that.
prettiest blue eyes ever. He's pretty much the star of my stream. If you already like, obviously you can tell that I have a cat camera, so that means that there's a cat camera on my stream as well. My stream is kind of set up in like a cat cafe kind of style, which was, it's funny because I give myself, I guess, a lot of credit for my overlay, just because I'm not like the bestest artist in the world, and granted, I didn't make it. I made it on Canva, so it's not like I drew it or whatever, but still, nonetheless. So NY31 has a flame point Siamese! Yay!
I like your
We
excited voice.
love the kitties.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out Jenny's channel, go check her out. That is a link that will bring you right to her Twitch page. Go give her a follow, and then if you want to know when she streams, wrong one. I forgot what I put. See, Gen time.
I feel like
There
you
we
keep
go.
forgetting your commands.
Yeah, I do. I guess. There it is. So if you want to know when she streams, that is when she streams, and then she has socials too. Right there. That's her socials. You can follow her there. And guys, she also has merchandise.
Yes, I do. And one of my favorites is this feeling words mug here, right?
That's cool.
So, how I was talking about our feeling words, it just says, "How do you feel?" And there's different feeling words again on here, and the font on the mug is actually my own handwriting.
You had your handwriting made into a font?
Yep.
Do you do that with a... How'd you do that? With like a certain program?
My iPad, and I used Procreate, and then a program that you can like upload into.
That is so cool. I didn't know... I mean, I know you had the mugs. I didn't know that was your own handwriting made into a font. That's really neat.
Yep, yep. Hold on, I'm gonna close my blinds to see if
Yeah.
that helps with my washout.
No problem.
It's pretty dark today anyway, so what's it like in Minnesota? Because I know here it's not nice.
It's really nice here, actually. It's like... It's been cold. The beginning of the week, it was snowing and raining and ice and sleet. Now it's 50 degrees. The saying here in Minnesota, if you don't like the saying with the start of Minnesota Springs, if you don't like the weather at the beginning of Minnesota Spring, wait 5 minutes because it changes.
No kidding, no kidding. And also for those of you who don't know, okay, that didn't help at all. That's really disappointing.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I'm not like a fancy professional. Okay, so now that I'm like seeing it, I'm always like, how can I like improve my stream? But it seems like I'm gonna need like a fancy shade or something. Because I've been doing this for a while. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing.
NY31 says you need blackout curtains.
Well, the thing is I never use curtains, and I honestly don't use my blinds either, and my windows are usually open. But it's so not freaking nice out right now. For those of you who didn't know, PLG is just north of me, 3-ish so hours. I'm in Iowa.
Yep, we're pretty close. Maybe not
Shout
at
out
this
to
hour.
Midwest.
Midwest, yep. Shout out to the
Central
Midwest.
Time Midwest, might
Yep.
I say, because the Eastern Time Midwest is more like East. Like they're not West. Why is West even included in states in Eastern Time?
That's a good question. All right, so let me bring up. We're gonna get started here. My first question is, what made you come up with the idea of doing a mental health channel on Twitch?
Yeah, okay. So this is such a fun story to tell because
Yay!
it just doesn't. It wasn't exactly. It just wasn't what I expected, or well, I didn't know what to expect. Okay, so the pandemic lockdown hit, and we were chilling, I guess. My partner at the time that was like living here with me makes music, and he was when the lockdown hit, a lot of different creators and artists and performers took to Twitch and online streaming to kind of be like, hey, look, I'm still doing things even though you can't go and see me out doing whatever. And so he was watching this really famous music producer who would have like hundreds of people in his chat and would stream 8 hours a day every single day. And so after a while I would kind of notice, like I knew what Twitch was, but I knew it for video games. And so I would kind of like watch the chat. Eventually someone gifted me a sub, so I paid a little bit more attention. And then I started to catch on, and on Mondays he would do these like motivational Monday type things where he would show like a YouTube video or two and kind of talk about his personal life. And I had just finished reading a book that really impacted my life, and the way that I am, I just like to be like, oh, have you heard of this, have you tried this, that, and the other thing. That's my favorite. And so during the Motivation Mondays, people would like, talk about this. And I'm like, oh, can I recommend this book to you? Blah, blah, blah. So that's when I started interacting. And then it was like, I mostly, I enjoyed the motivation stuff because it's like that's the stuff I like to talk about, the self-improvement. And I kind of started to see, I guess, the ability to community build because, those people kept coming in and greeting each other in the chat each morning. And then so I had connected with a couple of them like offline, like via Whisper, but, I never thought I was going to stream, didn't really know anything. I can't remember what exactly made me decide that I did want to start streaming, but what led to me choosing to start stream on like the day that I did was the day before. It was a Motivation Monday, and people were talking. The topic was kind of like breakfast and eating breakfast in the morning. And then people in the chat were like, oh, I suck at eating breakfast. I forget. I get distracted, this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, I messaged, I didn't say it in chat because self-promo things, but I messaged a couple of people that I had connected with and was like, guys, do you think it would be weird if like I went live and the point was for us to eat breakfast? Like you come, you open my stream, and then you go and you get your breakfast, or you go and you take your meds, or you go and you do what you need to do. And this is like your kind of checkpoint to get you to go and do that. And people were like, yeah, sure. Okay. So I didn't have an overlay. What I did was I just took like a colorful background, and then remember how I talked about the 2 pages of feeling words that my trainers sent me. I straight up took those 2 PDFs, plainly. And just my overlay was 2 PDFs of feeling words, my camera box, and a picture of my cat.
That's awesome.
So just 2 plain white word PDFs, like the plainest thing in the world. And I called it Breakfast and Feelings Check-in. And I went live. I wasn't a morning person. I never the only reason I was waking up was because, my partner was watching this producer who would start at 8 or 9 a.m., right? And so I did it the next day, and I was like, and people showed up, and I guess I don't know, they enjoyed my energy and they thought it was cool. So I was like, I'm gonna do this the next day. And then I did, and people kept showing up. It's so funny because I was on my laptop, and I kid you not, I think my lag at some points would get to be like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. So someone would like speak and I wouldn't see, like they would respond to something I say, but it wouldn't be until 3 minutes later, and then I would forget. But let me tell you, within 2 or 3 months, I hit affiliate in the 2 weeks that it took. So I started and I was like, okay, going live every morning. I took Sundays off because I knew I didn't want to like burn out, but within 2 weeks, I hit affiliate, and then within 2 or 3 months, everyone had supported me enough to purchase my own PC. So, like, within the
Wow.
first 2 or 3 months of streaming, I was able to get a PC, and then live cat camera was able to be implemented at that rate because my computer could handle more. But it was just it was interesting because a lot of the support that I had at the beginning was from music related people. Now, it when you think about it, it really makes sense because in the music communities, there is not a lot of mental health discussion. And so I didn't know how much it was needed, but most of the people that I had connected with off of that stream were like, no, this is super important. That's awesome. What a great idea. Let's go. And it's kind of, but my journey has bloomed, and I'm still really involved with the music community, which is really neat. But it's just so interesting because, again, it's like, I just was like, well, what if we make a checkpoint and you stop and you come, and I did Breakfast and Feelings because I didn't know, what else to do other than wanting you to check in for breakfast. Now, a little bit of backstory. So I have a bachelor's in child, adult, and family services. I got a job after I graduated and had to quit that after like a year because it was just too much burnout for a whopping $12.75 an hour with my diploma required.
Wow.
Um, and then I took some time. I had some other jobs, and then I went through this really bad period where I ended up losing 2 of my jobs that I had that I really liked. I
Oh.
lost them due to policy and not due to impact. Meaning like I did a lot of work and got a lot of compliments and did a lot that others couldn't do. But ultimately, when this impulse or that impulse came into play, I got fired by policy with no ability to, argue my place. So I had like a little period of burnout, and then I found this position called peer support specialist at NAMI. And this was right before the pandemic. It was literally the month before the pandemic. And so that's where my peer support training came in from. But that was a separate thing. So, like a separate certification. Within 90 days of working at NAMI and the lockdown happening and us transitioning to all online and all of these things, I ended up getting fired from this peer support position as well.
Oh my
And
gosh.
my boss had the audacity to, on my 90-day review, like check the box that I was, which all of the boxes were checked at the lowest, like just not doing anything, including not modeling recovery.
Oh.
I wasn't even modeling recovery in the 90 days that I spent my time there. And I know that that's not a thing, but that just broke me down. I had gotten fired from 2 jobs before that. I found this peer support, like hiring people with lived experience at a mental health place. Like, how could this go wrong? They're accommodating me, they understand me. But then all of a sudden the rug was kind of ripped out from under me, and I was like, oh my God. So I had finished the peer support training like a week before I got fired. And I think that learning those skills and learning what it meant to essentially use my lived experience to be able to support other people really came into play when starting my stream, because not only did I start with those feeling words, but I wasn't planning on playing games, so what was I going to do? And I really was like, I think I want to just try to do what I was going to be doing at Nami and just do it on Twitch. So it's kind of like a virtual live peer support group. Now, granted, not everyone gets to see their faces and it's just me. And so the style is a little bit different. But, I think that it's still extremely successful, all things considered.
That is super cool. That's a great story. I don't know what else to say. That's a great story. I love how you just kind of took a situation that went awry and you made the best out of it. Now look at you. You're on Twitch. You're affiliate. You reached there in 2 weeks. And my favorite part is you're helping people. And I love that. I love the fact that you're helping people. And I really appreciate you and your channel. So please know
Thanks.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I appreciate. It's kind of mind blowing the amount that Twitch has really changed my life. I'm not sure. I drove past Nami this morning. I was in therapy this week talking about how I've been a little bit more sensitive to when I see people talk about how they've worked with Nami or recommend Nami. I know that it's so interesting because all of the like self work that I've done, not counting the job and stuff, I'm able to better notice like my body when it reacts to something. And so I'm like, clearly Nami is still like a trigger for me. And I'm still working through that, but it's quite fascinating to, well, I don't even think fascinating, because I suppose it's definitely not abnormal to be hurt in a mental health space by a mental health provider as well. And that's important to acknowledge too.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it? It really is.
No, it is. It very much is.
Yes, and it's sad. I mean, you shouldn't be at a mental health place of employment where they're impacting your mental health. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like, lady, this is where people go to get mental health support, especially when their jobs aren't supporting them. Like,
right.
You're just telling me to go get help?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. JK Fighter says, yeah, what's your question? I usually say we do questions at the end, but you can go ahead and ask your question.
And you can go on to
Number 2?
But yeah.
So why is mental health and raising awareness for mental health so important to you? Because obviously this seems like something you have very much a passion for.
Yeah, so I don't know. Growing up, I've just always wanted to help people. In high school, in middle school, I took like a career test thing because I still didn't really know, and it was like, I think I got like flight attendant, and I was like, oh, that would be so cool. Traveling would be really neat because, again, Iowa.
Right.
And and then also, I was like helping people. And then in high school, I joined. So I went to a church camp and was involved in my denomination, which is Disciples of Christ, the red chalice, if anyone is familiar. So if you like see a church with the red chalice or First Christian Church of something or other, that's my denomination. It's a little smaller, but super tight knit. And I got onto this council for something or other that enabled me to receive a half tuition off at TCU if I wanted to do youth ministry. And so that was kind of interesting to me because I don't think I really understood like the social work aspect, because like seeing a counselor when I was younger, like there was maybe 1 or 2 counselors in my town, it seemed like, and the school counselors weren't helpful. So like seeing like that, I guess, didn't, and then I don't really know. I guess I kind of grew from, seeing the sticker price of TCU, and then also we have some like family friends who have been there and are like, even if you can go there and afford the tuition, you may not be able to afford the life of the students that are there, because I guess like because it's so expensive, most of the people that can go there have money and do things that cost money as well. So anyway, I kind of like removed that thought. I was bullied in like middle school
Oh.
and in high school, and I didn't really have friends. I think that I just always wanted to help people. I didn't really know how to, like, I just, it wasn't very clear. And I don't want to say it's not clear now because it's like obviously way more clear, but my way of being just wants to like support, I guess. And then as I've continued to learn, going through college, realizing that my college's mental health supports were not ideal. Like you had to go through like this 7-week group therapy to even get a one-on-one with a therapist was not my thing. And then my major was child, adult, and family services. So that was kind of essentially my way of trying to cover, like, okay, well, I can learn about people and structures and services and growth and development and stuff and see where that takes me. When in my senior year of college, it's funny, I was reading back through my emails the other day because I wanted to come up with a list of all the different doctors that I've seen. Um, my freshman year of my freshman year of college, I get bronchitis. I was getting bronchitis a lot. And before I had my tonsils out, um, I called to get like a refill on my cough medicine from the doctor. And the doctor's nurse was like, he wants you to come in because he thinks this might be more mental than physical. And I'm like, lady, do you not hear what's happening in my chest? Like, I understand the concern for the mental health, but like,
Yeah.
this isn't really how to like bring it up or address it or like, just no. And so that part was like clearly, still people aren't getting like the support that they need. And then my senior year, so I was just really tired all the time. I, wasn't in a good mood, and it is what it was. My senior year, one of my professors was like, "Have you ever looked into ADHD? Like, do you think you have ADHD?" And I'm like, "No, what? I got great grades. Do you see my grades now? Like, look at my grades. My grades. I was a teacher's pet, this, that, and the other thing." But then I brought that up with the prescriber I think I had at the time, and he's like, "Well, that very well could be a thing, like, tell me about your childhood." And I was like, "Well, I was a teacher's pet. I was a people pleaser. I didn't want to stick out. I always followed the rules." And he's like, "Oh, yeah. So that's what you call," and not necessarily the female type of ADHD, but like the lesser known traits of ADHD because they weren't as studied and whatnot. I got diagnosed with ADHD my senior year of college. Fantastic, right? I got to use all the accommodations, right? Just kidding.
Oh, you didn't?
No, because I was done with college.
Oh God. Oh that. Oh no.
But I also didn't know what ADHD was in the way that I know what it is now. And that too, between Twitch and Twitter, I've learned a lot of that. I don't even remember mental health awareness, why it's important to me. So maybe probably more so now, it's important to me just because I see the different barriers, the different like experiences that people could go through, whether it's like, their doctor not believing them or like I had a psych at one point put me on lithium because she thought I was bipolar. Um,
Wow.
and I'm not laughing as if that's like a bad thing to have or anything, but it's just like the track record of misdiagnoses and all the different kind of medications that we can take that transform our brains, whether they help us or not. And then if we go to another one, it is what it is. And so just bringing awareness to what it is and that there are things out there. Not everything that's out there is helpful, but like, there is stuff out there. And then really with Twitch, after a while, I realized that I think I wanted to make a place that I didn't have for myself when I was younger. I played a lot of like online games because I was just trying to find like friendship. By games, I mean it was an online chatting platform. It wasn't an actual game. Like RuneScape had a point. The game I played, literally just like chatting and hanging out. And so after streaming for a little bit, I was like, I think that I wanted to be what I needed when I was younger. And then also just to be able to um, help others realize that they're not abnormal or weird. I mean, we're all weird, whatever. The word weird bugs me because it's like, yeah, weird is cool, blah, blah, blah. I have a book right here that says your weirdness makes you wonderful. But like another thing was when I graduated high school in 2013. Fun fact, so my arms, if you see, are all picked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have dermatillomania, which is a body-focused repetitive behavior. Some may have heard of trichotillomania, which is hair pulling. I have the skin picking version of it. That was not in the DSM until 2013.
Wow.
So prior to that, they thought I was like self-harming, and they'd like put me on Klonopin, and they were really like, they just like were, attacking what was going on with me from a completely different perspective. And so
Yeah.
just I think there's so much like just misunderstanding and inability to be heard with like what our experiences are and how they are, and not have people be like, are you sure it's really like that? And so I guess I want people to be able to feel like they can just like share the things, because I haven't been more validated than like in this kind of online space, I guess. Also, all my pals are here, so I just want to give a quick
Yeah,
little
give him a
shout
shout
out
out.
to all my
Absolutely.
pals. We have JK, we have Moogus, we have Swiss, we have Carissaarella. Is that all who's popped in so far? Mr. Krabs as well. Skytron, all my pals. I think
Everybody,
that was like an ADHD kind of longer story, but anyway,
that's okay.
it's still worth talking about, of course.
Everybody from Jennyfurh's channel, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you showing support to her, and I really appreciate you showing support for me as well. Thank you so much for being here, guys. If you're just joining, by the way, this is Retro Rap with PLG. My guest is Jennyfurh. She runs a mental health channel here on Twitch. She does some good work, guys. Go give her a follow. This is her Twitch link right here. Let's see if I can remember all my chat commands. So that's her Twitch link right there.
Cat cam included if you follow.
And yep, you get the cat cam included. That is her. That's her merch. She has some merchandise. And let's see, Jen socials. I think it is. Nope. See, look at that. J socials. There it is. J so that's her social right there. And then
No S.
I'm supposed to know my own chat commands. There we go. Thank you. And that is when she is. That's when she streams. It's a great way to wake up, guys. If you wake up in the morning and you're just kind of feeling down or just not at 100% of your game, tune into her channel because it's a great channel. The one thing I love about her channel, so simple. I do love her overlay because it's just so soothing and relaxing. So, guys, if you get a chance, go give her a follow, please. Check out her channel. And I promise you, you're going to go on her channel, you're going to chat, you're going to make a lot of friends like that. Everyone there is so welcoming. Jennyfurh is so welcoming. And you're going to you're just going to have a feeling, it's a safe place. You're going to feel like it's a safe place. And I think that's what Jennyfurh is trying to get across about her chat. It's a very safe place. You can go in there and you can go and you could talk about things that are not going so well in your life, but you can also talk about things that are going well in your life. And
that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. It's like I try to say that because there's sometimes maybe we'll have something like really cool happen, and the people in our lives are like going through it, and we're like, I don't really feel like my celebrating is really appropriate with my friends right now, kind of thing, because I just don't want them to feel like, granted, hearing good news when you're in a bad mood for someone else can be uplifting, but you might feel like you don't want to share because you don't want to bring like make them feel worse or something. So I want you to share your accomplishments, maybe that you don't want to share with others because of this or that reason. And then also, of course, the feelings like, if you feel like the people around you can't handle the more negative feelings as well. Now, I will say that one of the things, some people might be like, trauma dump, or talking to people about my personal problems, or really anything. And I just, my biggest thing, my biggest focus is our feeling words at the very like minimum. Like, please, like, can you find a word that better describes how you're feeling? And then if you feel like you're trauma dumping or whatever, my share all the thoughts. The one thing for me is that we're still a growth minded community, in the sense that I kind of like implemented a rule / command thing. So if you have like, you're like, I'm stupid, and then people respond to you and I respond to you, and then you're like, no, I'm really, really stupid and this is never going to work out for me. And then people are responding to you and I'm responding to you. And then you say it like a third time, like another like self-deprecating statement. And that's where I'm kind of like, okay, I encourage people to kind of take a breath after that point, take a break, whatever you need, because I understand if you do feel that way. I don't want to invalidate those feelings. However, because both me and chat at this point are offering you support, you now have the choice as to whether or not to take it, or I guess, I don't know, excuse yourself, because I get the feelings. And I don't want this to be a place where you, I guess, take attention and then don't try to implement it. Now, I'm not asking you to, like, implement feeling words into your life, but I'm not just going to sit there and tell you over and over that you're not stupid, because I know that you're not stupid. So and obviously it's hard, and our feelings are hard and stuff too, but that's one of the things I guess I wanted to mention, because I'm here to hear all of the bad things, all of them, and how bad you feel about yourself. But once chat and I start supporting you with those things, if you feel like that isn't sufficing enough, and it's just that I don't want you to like talk bad about yourself, at least in this space. Like, that's not healthy, and it kind of disregards the support that both me and chat are giving you as well. So again, you can share all the things, positive and negative, but we are also a growth mindset kind of focused community, to where I want to help you if you are willing to take the help.
That is awesome. I love everything, how you just worded it. I love how you just worded it. That's perfect. Because that's absolutely true. I think the worst thing you can do for yourself is go into a mental health channel and sit there and just trash yourself. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. This and that. And I get that you feel that way, but people in that channel are there to support you. So let them support you. Don't just be a Debbie Downer and just be like trashing yourself the whole time. No matter what they say, you're nope. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Go to a mental health channel if you want to go there, and if you want, even if you don't want to talk, if you just want to, sometimes you just need to be around positive people sometimes, and even if it's not positive people, sometimes you want to be around people that are going through some of the same things you are, because empathy can go a long way, and that's what I love about your channel. It's awesome. Kind of going into this a little bit, so the people that are here now that haven't visited your channel before, what can they expect if they visit your channel? You kind of talked a little bit about this, but maybe talk a little bit more about some of the things you talk about. Talk a little bit more about the feeling words, some that you use, and so forth.
Well, I told you I was prepping some items.
Yep, you did. Yep, I'm glad you're prepared. Go for it.
Really quickly, though, I want to read out what a couple of the chatters have said, because I also enjoy hearing it from chatter and viewer perspective as well, because I don't have a me that I experience, and I have trouble sometimes describing it. So Sorgatani, which I think that I met Sorgatani in your chat way back.
You might have.
And now comes to my stream.
Yep.
Um, says how I've described Jenny's channel to friends is like being a cat cafe, and that it's mental health in the full range of the word. Sometimes people have mental health tags and they just mean that it's like a shelter where you hide from the world, but Jenny's is more about being real with yourself and others, even though that can be confronting. And then Watch the Skytron is also new, and I think I had encouraged them to try to find different words, and I think that they enjoyed feeling a little bit more empowered, and Mugus as well. Um, it's just fascinating how much we go through, and now it's just like we're like a family or a community, and existing and experiencing those things together. It's just very interesting. So for my stream, you can expect the mental healths, right? You can expect all the different feeling words. Now, I know that you have me cropped, so I don't think, because I know you weren't expecting me to use my OBS virtual camera, but so I don't think that me doing this will be able to show people the feeling words, right?
I could, yeah. Actually, here, let me crop you a little bit. Give me a second. we can definitely get that in.
So just
There we go.
like as a preview kind of thing, our feeling words are over here, and like I said, they kind of scroll through. Now we've also learned, I found this new thing called the mood meter, and I want to figure out how to like implement that. But so the feeling words, like I'm gonna ask you how you are, and then I'm gonna, if you say, I even have a command thing, so when people say I'm good or something along those lines, it'll reply and it'll be like, you sure you're good? Or something like that, because it's like, can you find a better word? I didn't mean to make you recrop the whole thing.
No, I want people to see your overlay. Your overlay is awesome.
Thank you. But
Absolutely.
we also don't get the money boy now. Well, but anyway, it's okay. So if I go back, I mean, I can leave it up, but I also liked being up close because then I was able to show you guys the stuff. So I'll leave it up for like a few more seconds and see if anyone else in your stream gets to see like the words and stuff. But those words up there, that's also my handwriting, so that's my font. I know that you enjoyed.
Oh, that's your font
learning.
too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I thought I would tell you that too, because yeah, that's my font, which is
really
fun.
neat.
So kitties, yes, it's a straight up cat cafe. Like the cats on the overlay are cats from our community. So, going back, hopefully that's not too obnoxious.
No.
So, what you can expect on the stream besides our feeling words, that's a great emote, is so we do a daily quote now. I've got this little quote calendar with just different quotes each day. So we read a quote. Do you guys want to hear this weekend's quote?
Yes.
Ooh, this one's a good one. Okay, so Saturday, April 2nd and 3rd. You can't force anyone to value, respect, understand, or support you, but you can choose to spend your time around people who do.
Oh.
Lori Deschênes, and that's the author of this calendar, or this brand. I think that quote is just the pure representation of the choices of a chatter, the choices of a viewer, and the ginormous space that is Twitch. Because anything that you don't agree with, anything that makes you uncomfortable, you can leave and go find another community. And that's not like me trying to push you out, but it's like there's so many people around that you can find the people that you have like similar mindsets with, you know? So that's cool. So we've got our daily quote. We also have these things called Therapet cards, right? There's 64 different cards. I just grabbed 3 of my favorite. It's a channel redemption where you can, get a Therapet card. It's kind of funny because it's almost like tarot or oracle cards in a way. I've learned that I almost like move a little energy, but I'll shuffle them and then I'll draw them. So I'll share 3 with you today. This one, you've been doing a great job considering all you've been up against.
Oh, That's so cute.
Right? Right? Right?
That's awesome.
Like, you need to hear it, you come in, you redeem that. Life will always bend you, but trust me, you are too strong to break.
That's awesome. I love it.
Sometimes when I shuffle, it's weird because it's like it pulls 100% relevant at the time for that person. This one's cool too. You have survived every day of your life so far. You really think today will be the one that defeats you?
Oh, that is so cool. Those are really neat.
What?
Those are really neat.
Yeah, so this is like I think probably a lot of people's favorite part of the stream. Ooh, Money Boy doing a stretch.
Oh, Moonster.
We pay attention to the boy, obviously. I also do watercolor. I don't do it as often on stream as I would like to. But when I first started and I didn't have all of the crafts and stuff, what I would do on that Breakfast and Feelings when I didn't have all the fancy things and stuff, I would just keep throwing up my watercolor cards because I would have different quotes similar to the Therapet cards where, you know, someone would say something and I would grab my card that says slow down to speed up or whatever because it's like they were overwhelmed or this or that or the other thing. So this one says may I be well, and I made this. And then another one that I made is this like bookmark which says I will listen, and then it basically I'm trying to like represent active listening. So care, active listening with care, connect and reflect, ask and clarify, respond with support, and examine understanding. Like, I just thought it would be neat to put it on something pretty because, you know, I think that we very much need to be reminded what it means to actively listen compared to listening to respond, you know?
Wait a minute, you made that?
Yeah.
Did you make the acronym too? The care? Did you?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
No.
But still cool
That
though.
comes from my big old fancy peer support training.
Oh, that's cool.
So I made it into like one thing because like this is literally, you know. So the peer support training does come into play, which is fun. Now, mental health is intense, right? Mm-hmm. So that means that we also need to have some comedic relief. And by that means that you can choose to read from the fart dictionary.
I love the fart dictionary. Oh, this is great. Could you indulge us a little bit?
Or chat, the first person in chat or you want to choose a letter, we can read some if you would like.
Read a letter? A letter, you said?
A letter, yep.
All right, somebody pick a letter. I love the fart dictionary says Moogus Tatty? Q. All right.
All right.
Oh, look at that. We got letters coming in now. We got Q, B, and H.
I'll do one for each letter because usually I'll read like a couple from each letter or from a letter. I'll do like one if that's okay with you. Just
yeah, please.
Farts are fun.
Farts are fun.
Also, the other thing that's really important is I like to say that farts are like crying is like emotional farting, right? So, oh, girls don't fart or boys don't cry. Well, no, boys cry and girls fart. We all do the things. It's literally just an energy release. Is it not?
Yeah. I can't disagree with that.
Okay, so Q. Okay. Quaalude fart. A disabling fart that causes you to crumble to the floor in a jerky motion. Most popular at discos across the globe in the 1970s. So there's your Q.
Oh, that's funny.
Let's get the B. Bench warrant fart. A fart that you committed but have publicly denied, even though all in attendance, the fart jury, have found you unanimously guilty.
Oh, it's funny. What other letter did we have here? We had B,
R,
and then R and H and A, I think. R, H, and A. So yeah.
Reluctant fart. You have to fart, but if you stand and exit, you risk the possibility of a walk and release. So you take your chances while sitting and let a little go at a time.
Sounds like something I do often.
So, farts add to the I guess the overall vibe of the stream, because it can't all be heavy, right? So
Agreed.
we've got
H.
Hamlet fart. Any fart emitted while telling a stupid British joke with a Cockney accent.
Oh, that's good. That's pretty good too. And then A.
A, okay. Trying to find a good one. Absorbed fart. A fart captured by surrounding clothing that has no chance of making it into the atmosphere. Most common at Chicago Bears football games in December.
Oh, that's good. Thank you for sharing that book, because I love that book. It's amazing. So there you go, guys. See, it's not all tears and crying and depression. There's a lot of fun. There's a laughing in this channel. I have visited Jennyfurh's channel many, many a time, and it's a great way to start your morning, if anything, for the fart dictionary.
Jukebox J came in here. I saw Jukebox J, which is one of my community, said something, and Jukebox J comes in, and the first thing they don't do the check-in with feeling words, they do the fart dictionary redemption first.
Oh, that's amazing.
Today's letter is...
Oh, that's amazing. To those, Jennyfurh, suffering from mental health right now, what would you like to say to them?
I don't want to use a cliche or a commonly heard phrase, but I'm going to anyway, in the sense that you are not alone. You aren't alone, and I really truly believe in the power of the internet. Now, granted, the internet can be so toxic and difficult to navigate in so many ways. There's so many risks. But the rewards are so, so, so huge because, me being here in Iowa and in a small rural town and just not getting to meet different kinds of people, I didn't know other people who picked, but online, there's so many people who talk about it. And the same thing, even just with like the most random things, whether it's, ADHD or neurodivergent stuff, or, you have this weird habit that you don't understand. Like you aren't alone. There's a quote that people will say, it gets better. And then I saw someone the other day say, it can get better. I like to say it can get better more than I like to say it gets better, because saying it can get better invites you to take the step to try. And there's always choices. And another thing for someone who is suffering right now at this moment, I learned that the only thing that is constant in life itself is change. Therefore, the feelings that you have right now will change. We are so full of emotions. They come up, down, all over the place, like snap second. Our brain doesn't compute half of the emotions that we feel. And I forgot what I just said. Oh, change. You can take comfort knowing that your feelings will change. Might not be right away, might not be when you want it, but they will. Because the only constant in life is change itself.
That's awesome. I like that.
So that's I guess that's what I would say. I'm not always good at those things, just because for me, I feel like so many of the different quotes that I've heard over my lifetime more so like piss me off or turn me off, or I'm like, this isn't what I want to hear right now. And it's so interesting because as I continue through my journey, there's different quotes or phrases that I hear now that I'm like, I see where this can be implemented, or I see how this makes sense now. But it's still just so interesting because I think that that's one of the reasons too why people enjoy like my stream and my space is because I try really hard to acknowledge um, that that phrase or that thing that people say that's supposed to make you feel better doesn't always help you feel better, even though when like in other settings and people use that phrase, they don't necessarily disclose that it might not feel that way to you yet. And if it doesn't, then that's cool, I guess. But for me, it's been like, cause I'll hear certain phrases and I'll just be like, this isn't going to happen, or this doesn't apply to me, or I'm not going to get there, or whatever. And it just brings me down more than anything else. And it's just because I wasn't in like the right like state of mind or mind frame or part on my journey. And so when I hear just like different quotes and things, I struggle, I guess, because I can relate to feeling like hearing a quote from someone who's trying to help me feel better or more empowered, and then being like, but that's not what it's like right now.
You know, you said the one thing you said that I never thought of it this way, but you're right. It's things can change. How did you say it? They can change. People say things will change.
Things will get better.
They will get better. They can get better.
It will get better. It can get better.
It can get better, and that is so true. I remember when I was in Maryland, and I was in an abusive marriage, and my ex-wife was a gaslighter, and it took me a while, and I kept telling myself things will get better, things will get better, and you know when things got better is when I made it get better, and I left there, and that is absolutely true. Things can get better. They just don't get better because you're living life and they're just getting better. Sometimes you have to take steps. I've kind of always lived my life.
And I want to say, I don't mean to interrupt you,
You're
but
fine.
I want to say, and this is, again, it gets so difficult to talk about as a me because it's me and I feel like I'm just like bragging and trying to get you to want to come to my stream. But after freaking discovering these dang feeling words, I got to say, a step in the right direction is learning feeling words and then trying to see which of those words apply to how you are feeling in your body. You may be numb. You may not know what it feels like. But I do believe that as you start to build or rebuild your vocabulary and start to notice the feelings in your body and the things in your brain just a little bit more, I think that brings a level of awareness that we didn't know was there. And so with that, it kind of unlocks the next level to feel a little bit more empowered to try, because it's not that we don't have control over our emotions. They do what they want because our lizard brains determine before our conscious brains, determine those things. But being able to name them, another phrase, name them to tame them, that doesn't always apply, but it can help you feel better if you get into it and feel like, yes, naming it does help me feel more empowered. But basically, again, I feel like wherever you're at, like the very first step, and there's not a lot of people that I know who have a large feeling word vocabulary. I don't think anyone can sit here and come up with more than 25 words. And within those 25 words, how many of them have you applied to how you're feeling compared to just different adjectives that are feeling words that you may have learned across life and don't implement for yourself? So like, some people might use the word irritated, but like I feel like people use the word irritating in conversation, but again, don't realize that they're like actually naming their feelings. And so the more vocabulary, the more we can identify how we're feeling, I really feel like that is like kind of the starting foundation to building on any kind of awareness.
Yeah, I think watch the Skytron so it can get better. Quote, so it can get better. Feels like you have control and it's your choice. And that's absolutely right. Things can get better. You can't just expect things to get better. You have to take steps. And I've always kind of lived by saying, people say they're not happy with their life. Well, you have the power to make changes, right? Like you can do things to make yourself better. If you don't stop making those changes, you're happy with where you're at. You have to do something to help yourself. You have to make yourself better. You can't just expect things to automatically get better.
And to add, kind of related, kind of unrelated, but you said something about happiness, and that's another thing that has been kind of fun, I guess, to learn about. But happiness, if we live our lives to try to achieve happiness and be happy constant, like that is not what it means to be human, and it sets you up for disappointment because we are human beings with the feelings, with the variety of different feelings. Striving for happiness, like, doesn't include all of the other things that mean what it means to be a human. And so for striving to be happy, we are much more likely to feel disappointment.
That's a good way to look at it. You got to be realistic about what happiness is. You just I agree with that. That was a very profound thing you just said. I like that.
And it's something, it's not something that I've always known either. It's like, I enjoy when like my feelings of contentment come, I guess, because it's like, yes, I'm literally just present and content. I am appreciative of where I am in this present moment. Happiness is almost like I don't want to say we can control our emotions or set up our emotions and stuff, but like, again, if you have expectations for things that just leads to disappointment. And so why try to set yourself up for disappointment when you can just try to stay present and learn what it means or learn what it feels like to appreciate where you are in your present.
No, that's absolutely right. Again, that's very profound. Thank you for saying that. To those that have supported you and your channel, what would you like to say to them?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
That's okay. To those that have supported you and your channel, what would you like to say to them?
Well, I tell them every day, quite repetitively, honestly, but that I'm very, very grateful for the support. I'm very grateful for like the support in the sense that people feel like they have their own responsibilities as well to, be there, whether it's greeting other people or helping me redirect my own self. I think that there's people that have been there long enough that notice when I start to get anxious just on my own, they'll redeem like the fart dictionary or the therapist cards. So I'm just really, really grateful to have people who genuinely like believe in what I am doing and support me, and then also find that they are getting something out of it for them too. I'm just very, very usually this is usually like when we try to like end for a raid or after something really exciting happens, and I'm always like, I can't wait until I have the words to be able to describe this because I'm just repetitive and appreciative.
Vildy but sober says W.
But sober. So my dance break? Have you seen my dance break when I like dance for like 48 seconds? Have you been in there for?
I don't think I have. I don't think I have.
So I have a whole dance break because, well, another fun, neat thing about my stream, if any of your viewers who aren't my community members, I've met producers, right, through the way I came through, and the music that we listen to on stream has all been made by people that I have met on stream.
That's so cool.
Vilde But Sober made this one song called Vilde Boot Sober. However, Mugus says it sounds like build a boots and a bear. And I have, every time it comes on in my playlist, I have a different scene and I change it and we just dance. And we just dance because it makes me dance. So Vilde is cool, and shout out to Vilde for mostly the soundtrack of my stream. Build a boots and a bear. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that you feel like you have the support of your community, because I think that goes so far in having your Twitch channel. That's very cool. Switching focus a little bit, I would be remiss if I didn't at least ask about video games, being it's called Retro Rap. Are you, not necessarily do you stream video games, obviously you don't stream, but do you play video games? And if so, what kind of games do you like, what kind of video games do you like to play? Do you have any favorite games, role-playing, what do you like to play?
I'm such a weirdo. I had a GameCube.
Okay.
After the GameCube, I did not receive gaming machines. My brother would get the PS4s or PS whatever after, each couple years. I would get more like electronics. I had a Game Boy as well. I have a Switch. I got the Switch because I wanted to play Mario Party. I enjoy Mario Party and Mario Kart. And then Animal Crossing came out during pandemic, right? And I got that and I played that for a hot 9 months straight. Pokemon Go, I did not start it when everyone else did, but I did like a hot 9 months in 2019 where I played like 11 hours a day of Pokemon Go. I probably put like 20,000 miles on my car that
Wow.
year playing Pokemon Go.
Oh my god.
It's hard to explain, but like my activities and my hobbies all tend to be hyper focuses, and hyper focuses in the sense that it becomes difficult to pick it up after I don't want to say grow out of it, but kind of like move on from it at the moment. And so my Switch is charged, even though it hadn't been charged for like 9 months. I plugged it in. I heard there was an update, but I can't bring myself to get on it and want to play it. I don't understand. So I have Animal Crossing. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Pokemon Go. I but as far as like games that I consistently play, the only game that I really found myself and I play a game on my phone called Barista's Cat Cafe. And I have my own cat cafe with cats and guests and stuff.
Well, that sounds fun.
and I really wasn't an app game player either, but I've started to do that. Really, ultimately, the game that I like to play, like in my free time and on stream, is Texas or No Texas, as Wugas likes to call it, which is GeoGuessr. Now, I want to say the U.S. GeoGuessr. It costs $10 if you would like me to do a country other than the United States. But I really enjoy playing GeoGuessr because of the traveling and the geography and stuff. But as far as other games, like I said, even when I was younger and I played Habbo Hotel, you probably wouldn't have heard of it, but if anyone was near around my age, they may have, which was a chatting game with no real basis or point. So no RuneScape, no role play, none of that kind of stuff. So no, I'm sorry.
That's
I mean,
okay.
yes, but no.
That's hey. Everyone's got their own taste. That's all right. What are your short and or long term goals as a Twitch streamer or for your channel?
Long-term goals, short-term goals, is that what you said?
Yeah, for either you as a streamer or for your channel.
I was going to say be more consistent, but I'm the most consistent streamer that I know in the sense that I make my 8 a.m. live streams a year and a half consistently. I would like to build out my community more. When I first started, I made my Discord and it wasn't set up well, so I think ultimately like the first, 150, 200 people muted it. And so when I like post an announcement and at everyone, I get, a max of 5 reactions.
Sure.
And I was really into Discord and then I'm not. And so I struggle now to keep up with like responding to things and posts and coming up with like movie nights and doing those consistently or lunchtime. Like I want to do like a lunchtime half-hour thing where we eat and we don't talk. The only reason we're on this call is for kind of like accountability, but the goal is for us to like not do anything and have like a mindful lunch. Those things I would like to implement the things that I think of or talk about. But what I'm learning about myself is that I'm such a routine oriented person, even though I never thought that I was. I can see it and understand it a little bit better now. So I think that that's where I struggle a little bit, is because it's like same thing with going live at a different time other than 8 a.m. Like it just feels so difficult and it's hard to explain. But I would like to essentially try to engage my community more, whether like offline or just more in general than beyond like talking in the chat. One of the things that I'm excited for is I think we're going to make our own dictionary of feeling words, where we have kind of definitions that we collaborate on, but then also include 1 or 2 examples of how we could see that like in that instance. So like, yeah, it makes sense that like this thing happening causes these feelings. Now I know that, it's kind of different for everyone, but I thought it would be neat to try to like personalize it and make it easier for someone to consider, am I feeling this way or not? Because the more like I feel like real lifey examples, the easier it is to make it make sense. So yeah, that just like engaging the community and trying to build that out more, and our feeling word dictionary I think is going to be cool, because there's even there's even feeling words in other languages that we don't have words for those feelings, like in English, for example. And so I don't know, I freaking love feeling words.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what this feeling words dictionary is going to be like. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be really neat. I like that as a goal too, because I think that's going to add a lot to your channel, because it's like everybody's involved and they're all going to feel like you've accomplished something as a community. And having a sense of accomplishment can do a lot for one's mental health. So,
well, this is called an accomplishment jar.
Oh,
things I forgot to mention about stream. We also go through our accomplishments. And when I say accomplishments, I even mean things like checking the mail and taking out the trash and doing the hard things. The things where it's like, oh, I didn't do anything today. Did you brush your teeth? Did you take out the trash?
Yep.
So like physical proof of what you're accomplishing. So I just write everything down. Like this one. Reach back out to Amanda. That's all it is. In the jar. And then after a while you're like, oh, I didn't do any. So it's like, I wanted to move. I wanted to relaunch my website. I wanted to hit a follower goal. I wanted to do these things. I didn't reach any of these 4. These would make sense as goals. But what I did was I filled up my entire accomplishment jar with all of the other things. And so it's like, it helps me remember like that I do way more than I feel like I do. And that's just going based off of your talking about the sense of accomplishment. Like, I very much value that as well, because checking the mail is an accomplishment.
Yeah, it is. Getting out of bed, that's an accomplishment. So, and it just, anytime you have a sense of accomplishment, I just think it's good for your mental health, because a lot of people just don't think they're good at anything and they don't do anything. So it's good that you can anything as an accomplishment is good for your mental health.
Right. You woke up, so.
Right. That's an accomplishment. In what ways does being a content creator help you with your everyday life?
It has helped because for as unroutine oriented I am, doing this at 8 a.m. clearly set me up for a good morning routine, to the point where I wake up between 5 and 6 now, and I used to sleep in all the time. It wasn't until the stream and stuff that I transformed into a morning person. Like, I do things before stream. I like the mornings now. And not only that, but then my parents got me a stroller for my cat. And my cat likes his walks.
That's amazing.
So
they make cat strollers?
My stroller is a stroller backpack duffel bag that has 5 different ways it can be used.
That is amazing.
And as far as like habits and lives and stuff, cat need walk. So
I love that.
I walk the cat before my stream every single morning. So I've been able to I've kind of like, I guess, been building habits around the stream, is really because, I feel like when I was a student for 16 years. I had my syllabi. I knew what was kind of expected of me and what I needed to do. Being in the real world as an adult without that kind of stuff, I'm just kind of flailing. And so I feel like my stream has kind of given me like a route a little bit to kind of build with. And I thought me trying to walk my cat on a leash was weird. Absolutely not. Ask anyone in my apartment complex. Yes, there's a woman who walks her cat between 6 and 7 a.m. every single morning.
In a stroller.
In a stroller. And you know what? When it got cold, I went and I got a little heating pad that plugs in, like, for like body hurting. And I put it in his stroller, and then I would plug it in and heat up his in the morning before he walks.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
And then be covered in, like, there were days I wore multiple layers of clothes so that I could walk him.
Hey man, whatever gets you out of the bed in the morning and makes you feel happy and accomplished.
That's literally the most wild part, though. In what world have I ever walked every single day for 10 minutes by choice?
Like I said, if it makes you happy and if it makes you feel like you accomplished something, boom. You put it in your accomplishment jar, right? Well, there you go. See?
Exactly.
Oh, that is awesome, Jenny. What do you think? And I guess maybe this is more of a question for your Twitch community, part of your community that's here now. What would your Twitch community say is the best thing about your channel?
All right, this is where I definitely try to enlist those in my community. So, hello, Art Hub community members. I saw all you guys that talked. If you're still listening, what would you say? I mean, how would you answer the question PLG just asked that I can't remember at this very moment?
What would you guys, Jennyfurh's community that's here right now, what would you guys say is the best thing about her channel?
Because that's a hard, like I think I said earlier, like that a lot of people in my stream would say that their pet cards might be one of their favorite parts. But let me scroll through and do the big illegal and call out some lurkies. Maybe their name will help.
Oh, here's a good answer.
Hey, Carissa, Mugus, Stevo, are you still here?
It looks like you have an answer from
Wild.
Carissarella. Says she really has you connect with your feelings with discussions, even if you are having a good/bad day.
I like that, Carissa.
Yes, Epic, that is a cat cam. Look how she's lying. I love
Do you want
cats.
me to pet him? Do you guys want some pets?
Yes, let's see some pets on Moonster.
Here, I'll even go this far.
Aw, kitty.
I'm coming.
Aw. Mr. Krabs, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Aw. You look so, like, peaceful and comfortable. I love it.
I also like that about my cat because he's not always on the camera. He's a serious dose of, serotonin, and those are great emotes. Thanks for being here, Mr. Krabs.
You got a couple more answers here too, Jenny. Watch the Skytron. I like that it gets me up and going on days what is WFH?
Work from home.
Work from home.
Skytron is a new member, but has me feeling work on time blocking myself. That's one of the things I like too, because I like hearing about other people's just stuff, because then it's like just helps me motivate myself a little bit more.
And then another answer from Carissarella. In the height of the pandemic, it really forced me to check in with myself rather than distancing myself from my feelings. That's a great answer. I love that.
I appreciate you, Carissa.
And then,
it's all about choices. So viewers who come in and choose not to share how they're feeling, or I have some who still come in and say I'm good. And even when I'm like, feeling words, it is what it is. And it is what it is. Like, you can choose to do what you want to do, but I very much want to encourage you to do it. So if I can help you, add that into kind of, your routine, or just, what feels good for you, then I want to let you know that, if you can practice working on naming your feelings more, that you might feel a little bit more empowered.
And then Nigel Neverland from my community says, I'm already looking forward to your stream, Jenny.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll love her stream, Nigel. Watches.
NY31. I don't know if you caught it at the beginning of the stream, but that's exactly why I do this. Because when we say, how are you? We treat it as a greeting. We don't treat it as a question. And it's like, how are you? Good, you? How are you? Bad, you? How are you? Surviving, you? I'm okay. And then you move on. Like, there's no substance to that. That's more of a greeting. That's not a question. Now, some say, oh, well, I can't like share my feelings. People don't want to hear that. Sure, fine. That's valid. However, did you check in with yourself to see how you were feeling regardless of whether or not they cared? Probably not. So I'm trying to create it as more of a thing. Like, how are you? Beyond surviving, beyond good. Like, how are you?
No, Sword just said it right here. That question, I've always treated it as a question. So, like, if someone's gonna ask you, be up in front of, and you know what, if you give an honest answer to that, and they look like, you know, a fine would have been just great or whatever, it's like, well, then you know what, don't ask me.
Sorry, you didn't have the capacity to hear my response, but you asked.
You asked, right? Exactly.
So find a different question to ask if you don't want to hear how people are feeling.
Right, I agree.
And I also think that as you know, the people around me can try to add to their vocabularies. My hope is that people will start responding with even feeling words, not even like details, but just being like, I'm discombobulated and drained today. There's really nothing that other person can say that's like, wow, that was way too much.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
It's pretty simple.
It watches the Skytron, says, I've always treated it as a question too. Sarge says, why ask if you don't want to know? And yeah, you could always just say hi.
Exactly.
Yep. All great points, guys. To someone thinking of starting their own mental health channel here on Twitch, what advice would you give to them?
My first advice would be to hit me up or someone in the mental health streaming community and get yourself basically like a copy. I know that I probably need to just like make like a Google Doc that's available for people to grab on their own, but collect your resources to make commands to refer people to, because we are not therapists, we are not professionals. I understand holding the space, but we can't fix people, and even if you feel like you know that you can't fix people and you don't have those resources, recognize that you may be leaving people without much of a, I guess, you know, like next choice. And if you have those resources available, you at least know that you were able to kind of give as much as you could. Another thing would be get comfortable being vulnerable.
Good advice.
I am always vulnerable, and that has probably hurt me more than helped me, but it's definitely helping me now more than it's been hurting me. I be prepared to be vulnerable. Another thing that I just kind of experienced recently was arm yourself with the ability to listen to understand and not respond, but to listen and acknowledge that you can't fix it. But additionally, arm yourself with a little bit extra communication skills, in the sense that I was recently in a stream where a topic came up and the streamer was less knowledgeable on it, which is totally okay. We don't have to know everything. However, as they were trying to understand and understand through the chat, and there were like, you know, just different, there was a lot happening, people explaining different things, that streamer kind of got overwhelmed and then started getting defensive and started taking it as if there were like talking down on him about how he was responding, or like, I don't know, making it seem like he's not who he said he was or whatever. And that streamer had an extremely difficult time regulating their emotions. They got mad when people told him to like take a breath or take a break. And for you to hold this space, being vulnerable doesn't mean not showing your feelings, obviously. And so clearly, that can happen and that's okay. But I want you to know that, or I want you to be more prepared so that you can model what it looks like to take a break. Even if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, if you're holding a mental health stream and you're wanting people to, improve their lives, model what it looks like to take a break. If you aren't, if you're just like not understanding what's going on with chat, also be able to redirect yourself when necessary without feeling like you are leaving that person without support. Because that's something that I struggle with a lot of times. I tend to kind of get distracted if sometimes when someone might be sharing something kind of intense, and sometimes I feel like I like leave them hanging. But I work really hard to remember that like my goal is facilitating this space as a whole. And while I know that I want to, offer as much support as I can to each and every person, sometimes we just can't, I guess. And it's not, it can feel really bad and feel like, I don't know, imposterish, or feel like you can't handle it all when you're not able to give as well-rounded of like thoughts as you would like to. But just remember that like the fact that you're choosing to hold space means a lot. Just make sure that you have kind of, I guess, like the skills and tools needed to help you hold that space the best you can.
Oh, that's awesome, Jenny. Thank you for sharing that. Great advice. Guys, I'm going to open it up to questions. That's all the questions I have. I'm going to open it up to questions from the viewers here. And I always have to say this because I know how my community can be sometimes. Guys, appropriate questions, please. Much appreciated. If you're going to ask a question, I would appreciate if you could use the highlight my question channel point icon, or channel point redemption, not icon, channel point redemption, because it highlights it. So at this time, and I do have 2 fun questions I like to ask. So at this time, guys, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Keep them appropriate. Use the highlight my question channel point redemption. While we're waiting for that, Jenny, I got 2 fun questions for you. First question is, would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Neither, because I have sensitivity issues, and thinking about biting things abnormal gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Fair enough. And my other question is, are you a sandwich like sub sandwich? Do you like sub sandwiches? What's your favorite sub sandwich, and do you have like a favorite local place that you like to go to, or a favorite chain place you like to go to?
I tend to do like a chicken bacon ranch kind of thing, but I don't like mushrooms.
Ugh.
I don't like peppers. I don't like tomatoes. So no, thank you, please.
Do you have a favorite like chain place you like to go to, or like a favorite local place?
There's a little local place that's downtown called Downtown Deli.
Oh. It's a little deli downtown. It's called Downtown Deli. How appropriate.
I started the sentence. I could have worded it better.
That's okay. And then we have some other questions spewing in here. Venus Blue is asking, what's your ideal breakfast?
My ideal breakfast is really difficult, honestly, to determine, because today I had cereal and then I got all tummy upset. My ideal breakfast is food that isn't judged by other people about what time I'm supposed to eat it. That's my ideal breakfast. So if you see me eating lasagna in the morning, or you see me eating beef sticks in the morning, or you see me having spaghetti in the morning, that's my ideal breakfast.
That's awesome. You know what? No judging here because I'm the same way. You know what? Maybe I don't want a hard-boiled egg for breakfast. Maybe I want to eat a steak. Or maybe I want to eat a hamburger
Exactly.
or a cheeseburger or a slice of pizza. Don't judge me. It's what I like.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Watch the Skytron is asking, what is your favorite mythical creature? That's a good question. I like that.
I always get questions that I'm like, dang, I feel really uncultured. Because I don't want to say I don't feel like I have an answer for this, but I definitely don't have an answer off the top of my head. Just because, man, now I feel bad. I feel like this isn't going to be an answered question. Because I really have, like, even if someone gave me some names, I would probably, like, pick one based on the name or something.
Do you like unicorns?
I like unicorns. I have a three-legged unicorn. Oh, a three-legged headless unicorn Billy thingy.
Oh, that's cool.
That I mean, it's falling apart, but yeah.
Oh, we get the gist.
I like unicorns.
That's very cool. Epic is asking, a bit more specificity would be good. Do you like horror? I'm guessing horror movies. Are you a horror movie fan?
I no like horror whatsoever. No cartoon. Scream. No.
No.
Zero.
No horror. Fair enough. Uncle Nick says PLG's real question is trying to figure out if you like Jersey. Do you have a Jersey Mike's?
So I've never had Jersey Mike's.
Oh my God.
We have one in town now. And since my birthday is on Thursday, I signed up to get the birthday reward. So I'll get to try it this week.
Dude, your birthday's you have an April birthday. I have an April birthday. That's your birthday's Thursday, so is that the 6th? 7th. I'm the 28th. So happy!
Nice.
If I don't see you, I'm sure I'll probably pop in your stream to wish you a happy birthday. But if I don't, happy early birthday! That is awesome.
Thank you.
I'm glad we share a birthday month. April's a great month. You know why April is the best month for a birthday when you're a kid? If you celebrate Christmas, it's because you get Christmas gifts, and then you get 6 months later you get birthday gifts. So you're only waiting 6 months out of the year to get gifts.
Plus, Easter is around there, whereas like June birthdays or August birthdays don't necessarily have holidays.
Yep.
Easter would mean that more family would be around.
That's true, because you got Easter. I remember celebrating my birthday many times on an Easter Sunday because you know everybody's going to be there. So it's perfect. I have
a question for chat, and it's something that we haven't covered yet.
Okay.
Totally off topic, but I'm just curious.
That's okay.
Now, obviously, my viewers might have more of an answer, but I'm just wondering if anyone in chat has watched Catfish, the TV show.
Oh, gosh. I'm the one that asked you about this during your chat, because I was like, I didn't even know what Catfish was until I asked you about it. So that's a good question, chat. Have you guys heard? Okay, so, well, that's, of course, your community. Anybody in my community? Does anybody in my community know or have heard of the Catfish TV show? AMC, no. NY31, I've watched Catfish. Aquatic Place says yes.
I know Cat Dog.
I know
Me
Cat
too.
Dog. All right, so go ahead and tell the story, Johnny, because this is great.
Okay. If you watched Catfish, well, it's still on, but back in 2013, season 2, 2013 was my senior year of high school. I was on Catfish.
I watched the clip, and actually, if you go to her channel, she's got a link for it on her Twitch page, and you can watch it.
So if you watched it years ago, for example, seen like the first 3 seasons, I was in season 2, and I guarantee you, if you've seen it, chances are you will remember once you realize, because it was a very, very, very impactful episode. Impactful because it was the first time Neva Max ever cussed on camera.
Wow.
And NY31, I bet you did. I had bright red hair.
Yeah, I remember watching it, and I didn't even know what it was, and I'm watching it. It was like making me mad. It's like, what is that was not cool. I mean,
That Epic Gamer guy says, what's it about? Okay, so for those of you who don't have context, that's okay. So if anyone has ever heard someone use the term catfish, or you're getting catfished, or I'm getting catfished, or whatever, that is a term that didn't exist prior to the movie Catfish, which then spun into the show. The show Catfish, it's about basically like, oh, someone is talking to someone and they don't know if they're talking to someone who says they really are who they say they are. And the hosts will like help, they like investigate the person with the clues that you have about them or whatever and try to figure stuff out, and then they take you to meet them. Most oftentimes, or at least in the first few seasons, what would happen is it would be someone who didn't like their looks or their weight or their voice or their condition or whatever, and would fake being someone, and then usually would be like, I'm sorry, can you forgive me, I'd still like to be friends, whatever, whatever. But in my instance, it was someone who was like, oh, I'm talking to lots of girls, I'm just giving her a gift, I thought she would be the most confident to come out to and tell everyone that I'm talking to all these girls. Do you feel bad? No, I was giving her a gift, is what he said. It's like when you're talking to someone who you don't know if who they are, who they say they are, and you get catfished, basically. So you find out that they weren't who they said they were. We can't show the clip because that's DMCA, but if you Google Jen Catfish, just simply put Jen Catfish, that is my face. If you have Hulu, you can watch the episode, and it's on season 2. Oh man, you just revealed that I showed the clip on stream. DMCA.
Uh-oh.
It is DMCA though, so I don't want you to necessarily get in trouble.
Yeah, guys, just YouTube it. I watched it, and I was like, that's like narcissism at its finest, man. Like, that dude was such a, excuse my language, dick. I mean, honestly, he really was, and that's just not cool. Yeah, because if he really knew you, like, I don't really know you, but just from what I know of you, you seem like such a genuine person. And
it's like he played on that.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people that are like you, like that, they get played, and it's not cool. And that's too bad.
But if you guys all go and see it or whatever, or reveal or anything, I am fantastic because I've literally come now full circle. Like most would think, oh, do you still talk to people online? Do you still have online relationships? Do you still trust the internet? And I'm like, I have a whole internet community right here. I think 90% of my relationships after that experience, also I met them online, whether it was Tinder or Facebook or whatever. So I'm fantastic, even though when you watch it, you're going to want to punch the guy in the face. I'm here now, about 9 years later, like thriving in this like online world. And so I'm great now, but the experience did happen.
Yeah, my current girlfriend my ex-wife I met on a dating site, and that didn't turn out too well. But my girlfriend now, I made the decision. Yes, I'm ready to date again. It took about 1.5 years. I fixed myself. I talked to some people. I did a lot of reading, a lot of self-wellness, self-help books, and I made the decision. I'm going to start doing this again. So I decided I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this online thing again, but I'm going to take it more seriously. So I did eHarmony. And I'm not even kidding you. I paid for 1 year of eHarmony. The next day, Sarah reaches out to me and initiates contact. And 5 months later, we're still dating. And
that's adorable.
This is like the happiest I've been. I mean, she is awesome. Like, and she's got an 18-year-old daughter that's on the spectrum. And she was just on my stream last night. Her and her daughter came over, and she was in stream. We did some Jackbox, and her daughter and I did some Pokemon sword battle. I mean, it was great. And I paid 1 year, and it was like literally the next day. And it just goes to show you that just because you have one or two bad experiences with online dating, it doesn't mean it's always going to be the same thing. And you just gotta keep an open mind with things.
The internet is huge. The
world is
huge, man. Like that's the biggest thing. Like, it's not gonna turn me off and send me physical realm because I'm still in Iowa, still rural.
Yeah, exactly. And well, thank you for sharing that, Kat. That's really cool. And you guys, again, give it a watch on YouTube. Just YouTube it. It's quite interesting. and it's gonna make you want to punch your computer screen. I promise you, because I almost did. But it's just interesting. Tinder's scary. I ain't doing that shit. I don't want to get kicked.
I had two Tinder relationships that worked well.
Well, there you go. Epic is not all you got it. Well, Epic is also younger, so that's probably he'll think differently when he's our age, or my age at least.
Our age? Yeah, I was like.
Oh, wait a minute. How old do you think I am?
Well, for the record, I turned 27 on Thursday.
Okay, yeah, I'm old. I'm much older. I'll be 43 at the end of April. I got to a point where I turned my back and I sound like bubble wrap popping. When I meant our age, I meant when he's not a teenager, okay? That's what I meant. I think Epic is like 13. But Epic is my... He was my very, very first viewer when I started Twitch, and he was my very first follower, so I kind of got a special place.
Aww. That's the best, though.
Yeah. Nigel says, I got on Match.com after my last divorce. It paired me with my ex-wife. I rage quit. That can happen.
That sucks.
That does suck. All right. Well, Jenny, thank you so much. This was such a fun interview. And guys, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Because I'm just gonna play a clip of your channel.
Yeah.
And if it's a small, like a short clip, because with Twitch Guru, you know, we'll do another one. So
okay,
let's give her a shout out.
You guys maybe be able to see at least one of my from prior to the Cat Cafe.
So here we go. Let's check her out here.
I'm glad that Piglet is claiming my chair still. He's so cute. Do you like the pixel money by my head?
I just like that you're jiving with the music.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to that with me.
Yeah, I can't hear. Oh, it's Vilde Boot Surveyor. That's.
Oh my gosh, look at...
There you go. And I'm going to put your information here again. So that's the link to her channel.
Do another one.
You want to do another one? We can do another one.
Yeah.
Sure. Here, let's do another one.
The kitties on my overlay are different kitties in our community.
Let's do another shout out here. Here's another one.
I'm just curious.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened. It said OBS disconnected.
We'll do
Also, I
another
can't
one.
hear it, so I don't actually know what's happening.
Are we back?
Oh, you can't hear it?
My whole Twitch went...
Well, it's because I have your stream muted.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So it's not echoing.
So this one doesn't look as fun either.
So hold on, we'll do another one here. We can do shout outs all day for you. It doesn't bother me at all. Whoops. I almost did.
I'd like it if it found one of my older ones.
Let's see what we can find.
It'd be funny if you got the one where I fell.
Llama Cycle!
Oh, this is a fun one.
Llama Cycle won the Superman! Llama Cycle won the Superman.
Oh, giveaway.
Woo! Can someone clip it? Can someone clip it for Llama?
See, it'll go on forever.
You were asking them to clip it, and they clipped it.
Guys, I
Okay.
changed my bot, so...
There you go.
I just want to show you guys something quick. Let me see if I can get there.
Absolutely.
Pause. Bring this here. See if I can fast forward to the part that you need to see. Okay, I think it's, no. Dang it. This is taking me too long. I'm sorry, you guys.
That's
This
all
is
right.
5 minutes or else I would show it to you all. But I'm just trying to find the clip of my fall.
You fell?
Yeah. Come on, where is it? Come on, come on, come on. Ah, there. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Well, after this kibble part. Did you see it?
Oh, you... How did you fall?
So, yeah, that. Yeah. So what happened was I was scrolling, I was like wheeling. I was wheeling across the room and my leg, ADHD, have things on the floor and you don't pick up. So I got caught on something and I just went down.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's crazy. Thank you for sharing. That was kind of funny. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for agreeing to be a guest. This was an amazing interview. I really appreciate you guys. Here, go check out her merchandise as well. That's her merch. She's got some cool stuff there. I've checked it out before. This is her Twitch channel again. And then, oh God, let's see if I can remember this. I can't. Oh my God.
No S.
There we go. Oh, didn't it work yet? Is it J? Maybe it's J. Why aren't they working?
Ah!
We're gonna get this. Oh, for the crying out loud here. Hold on.
This is hilarious. And not even your fault. Commands are fun. I do it all the time.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I got it. Boom! There we go. That's her socials, guys. Go check her out. Jenny, thank you so much, guys. Go. Very easy. Monday through Friday. Like what? 8 to noon, right?
8 to 10.
8 to 10. 8 to 10, guys. Go check her out. You're gonna have a lot of fun. It's a great channel, and especially if you're not feeling at the top of your game, it's a safe place. Jenny, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate this. I'm gonna try. This is I'm 23 hours into the stream, so after this is done, I'm gonna try to come back and find this interview and try to clip it or try to highlight it and post it in my Discord and send it out as a tweet. I'm gonna try. I can't make a promise. It might be hard to find, but I'm gonna try because I think it'll be a good interview for everybody to watch.
I agree. Thank you.
So thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. And Jen, to Jenny's community that is here, thank you so much for coming in and showing support for her. And thank you so much for showing support for me, for being here to support me. With that, Jenny, you have a fantastic day. And we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye now. All right, guys, that is Jennyfurh. That was such a fun interview. Hold on here. Let me get to... Here we go. Let me fix this here. Give me 1 second, guys. Thank you, yes, that was awesome. Thank you, Jennyfurh. I gotta go this way. Nope, this way. Nope, it's this way. Where the heck am I? No? Where am I? Well, anyways, I gotta take a break anyway. And when I come back, I'm gonna plug my capture card back in and I'll get things set up the way it was before.